In 2010, at the age of 17, I was having the time of my life. It was me and my friends playing Black Ops 1, and I was using the Scorpion, my favorite SMG in the game. And I would even swap to the MP5K, to the AK-74U. Me and my friends loved playing on WMD, Firing Range, Radiation, the original Nuketown. We loved the Galil, the Commando, the G11 or 11, to the FAMAS, AUG. My favorite was the Python revolver, quick, able to kill within 3 shots. We had the time of our lives, saying the most wholesome to insane shit in the Black Ops lobbies. Fast forward to 2024, the new Black Ops has released. Every news article and to journalists is saying that this is going to be the big Call of Duty game that revives the franchise. IGN is giving it 9s out of 10s, the multiplayer 8 out of 10s. Getting high praise everywhere. The campaign is talked about being a creative and a bright future for the franchise. Then, I decide to get Game Pass, install it. And what do I get in return? Black Ops 6 is supposed to be this return to form, just like they're saying about this new Dragon Age Veilguard.
I say over and over and over again, I hate being alive, I hate being alive, I hate breathing, I hate being alive. I'm in tremendous pain, I'm in tremendous pain. Help me, help me, help me. I'm in so much pain, I'm in so much pain.
What I find inside is disappointment after disappointment with some quality in the pile of shit. Let's dig in. The campaign is a continuation from Cold War, and it starts in Operation Desert Storm, where you play as a man called William Case Calderon, along with allies Troy Marshall and Jane Harrow. This team is deployed to Iraq to extract the Iraq Minister of Defense, but are forced to go off mission when the minister claims that he is being targeted by a rogue paramilitary force called Pantheon. Forward into the mission and nearing the end of it, Russell Adler comes out of nowhere and blows his brains out. I can go deep into this story, but I don't really care to, as it was not that interesting, and along with how uninteresting it was, it provided me with a boring ensemble with it, with a man named Felix and Woods being the only 2 members of care or matter in this story. Troy Marshall is pretty cookie cutter, all while Sev is somewhat annoying and lame. The team just feels out of place and says nothing to get me soaked into the lore of their characters. Outside of Adler or Woods and sometimes the German man named Felix, the game has you after every mission in a hub place, which is an abandoned KGB safe house in Bulgaria. It has a cool puzzle inside it, dealing with the secrets of this house, from the 2nd floor to the piano puzzle, all the way down to a secret weird basement with tons of lore. This game also has this in-game currency for the campaign you can use to upgrade at the workbench in this hub world. It's strange and it feels like padding over anything else. Why would I need to upgrade myself with speed and perks and more armor and damage? Why is this in the game and what purpose does it serve? Because the replay value of all these missions are not there to even care to upgrade. Seriously, the campaign missions are at times decent, and a lot of the time filled with shit pacing and feels like a faraway home from the old military shooter missions of action and adventure. Like, remember in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 1, all gillied up? That's how you do a stealth mission. But let's move on. This game has you go completely stealth in the mission Blood Feud, and it's just kind of boring. And that's for every stealth part of this game. AAA games are really bad at stealth mechanics due to the lack of challenge in them. The AI is too dumb to react. Stealth design for the mission set pieces are also always just bland in these games. Feels like you're in a room of practice dummies in these stealth segments. Not only that, in a lot of these missions it gives you choices and different routes to take. I enjoyed the second half of Blood Feud for this, but was basically left with blue balls due to the short length of the action in it. And once again, a lot of stealth if you want, but the pieces are not really there to warrant you just speeding through with action. It's not that fun or interesting. Once again, the set pieces and the mission designs are bad. And about those choices and routes, this goes on when you get into the capital station undercover to rescue Adler. And let me tell you, once again, bad pacing. The mission starts you off as Case going undercover as a photojournalist, and you meet up with Sev and have 3 choices to do, and it's boring once again. The spy camera is a great tool in this campaign that lets you tag every enemy in the room, but once again, going around in these empty-headed design spots to sneak around is dull. The mission only gets good when the shooting begins, and that is when I run into a game-breaking bug that makes my ally Troy Marshall vanish from the map. I read online that you could find him somewhere because he's somewhat stuck on a desk or a chair or a corner on the map due to a shot grenade or something, but I had no luck finding him. I was forced to restart the whole level over and play through this sluggish AAA stealth and choice sequence again. But I did it again and made sure Troy did not get hit by a shot grenade and continued on. But man, this game has years of development and no one saw this game-breaking bug? Anyways, the next mission changed the whole game design on its ass completely, when in this mission called Hunting Season, it turns into an open world game or open area game. You have a vehicle and your pals with you to help the SAS in Iraq, and man, it has a big ass map, a bunch of secondary objectives, and 3 main objectives. This feels like Gears of War 5. The pacing is all over the place in this campaign, and now I have to drive around in this open area and take out these scud sites, aka scud launchers. It's pretty strange mission design. I'd rather just have a linear mission to take these scud sites out instead of a big map with extra objectives and kill streaks and such. This is all built around this awful stealth system, and it's really weird implemented mission. The best part is once again the second half of the mission where we infiltrate Saddam Hussein's palace. It was explosive. It had enemies on the top, enemies on the rooftops, to the windows, the snipers filled the walls and roofs, but overall I wish this palace mission was the whole mission. They could have really added on to this cool palace and made a great mission and level design here, instead of giving us an open area with stealth sections. Another big mission in this game was the High Roller mission, a casino mission where we must find what the Pantheon's keeping in the casino archive room, and I must say, this, again, another bad paced mission. It starts off with another mindless stealth section, and more stealth sections, and more stealth sections. It gets pretty good again in the second half where we break out of the casino. But do you see a pattern here? Do you see it? And then there's the most ambitiously weird mission called Emergence. And once again, it flips the design on its head. The mission Emergence is talked about as being creative, a good future for Call of Duty campaigns, but in all, honestly, they're not that far off. The mission is basically a zombies mission. You're just finding these key cards in this little hub facility, and each key card section has a zombie boss you must beat to get to a color-coded key card. It was brilliant. The mission gave me all the action I wanted and designed in a good way. Although pretty out of place, pretty weird, it felt like we saw the strengths of Treyarch and Raven Software here. This is one of the coolest yet strangest missions in the Call of Duty series. It only left me wondering what could have been if every mission before and after it was not such a messy paced, stealth-riddled mission design. Emergence is my favorite mission so far, and my second favorite is Ground Control. This was great. It was a true return to form, unlike what journalist nonsense they spoke about this game as a whole. Ground Control has you play as Case alongside Adler and Sims, and you must capture Gusev before he escapes Coet, and man, this was fun. Rushing through the airport, fighting off enemies to mini-boss armored enemies, sections where you have to take out snipers, minigun guys, and you even get to control a freaking tank. This was awesome. This was Call of Duty at its fucking finest. I wish we got more of this. The dialogue sections ruled, the gameplay was great, the level design was spot on, and that all washes away when the next mission makes you play as the worst character in the game, Sev, where you have to disable Pantheon's base defenses and Vorkuta before apprehending the cradle. That mission blew chunks of ass. Man, that sucked. Once again, I was in an undercover stealth mission. It was boring. It made you use RPG persuasion checks and quick time events, QTE along with it. What a drag. I don't even want to speak on it anymore because the next mission is just as bad, which is the final mission. The game seriously makes you play as the captured Jane Harrow, who is not only a generic character of no care, it tries to make you feel for her, have compassion for her. I could care less about her as every second of this mission being inside Jane Harrow's mind sucked. These little platforming sections to the silly puzzles to reclaim pieces of a mirror to stabilize her memory is garbage. This was boring. I'm playing a military game. Put that into a cutscene instead of forcing me to play through these tedious sections of puzzles. Platforming. I just want to shoot up bad guys in an action-adventure game with some cool mission set pieces. Kinda like Uncharted, but a first-person shooter. I'm pretty much done speaking on the campaign. It has very little quality in it. Very little care for this story compared to a Black Ops 1, a Modern Warfare 2 from the 2000s, to Black Ops 2, 3, whatever. It forced me to do these boring stealth segments against brain-dead AI and sloppy level design segments that could have just been linear, quality-designed missions instead of stealth to open area missions. The money to upgrade in the campaign serves, once again, as no purpose, only to pad time in the hub world and missions to improve your character, as if it was an RPG, as if there was something to improve in this game for your character. Wow, more armor pieces from Warzone mechanics. Wow, more speed. Whoa, my gun does more damage. Why does this matter if most of the replay value is complete garbage? Now on to the multiplayer. And where do I start, honestly? The guns are fun, there's cool kill streaks, but then I get into the Omni movement, which is Call of Duty's new movement system where you could sprint in every direction and dive in every direction. On top of that, you also have tactical sprint. At first this was good, but slowly dwelled into madness. The Omni movement was soon realized to me as a failed system along with the tactical sprint, and that is mostly due to the maps. There's not one good map in this game, and not only are the maps not good, they're small. Not only are they small, the spawns are atrocious on the already small maps that are designed terribly. And why do I say Omni Movement failed? Because Omni Movement was not made for these maps. Along with Tactical Sprint, the maps are just too small. Before you even get a nice sprint going, you're already being shot at due to the movement letting you cross the map within 5 seconds of spawn. There's no time to be consistent. There's no time to prepare after you die. You have to remain in this state of hyperspeed where the game keeps you dying and spawning, killing and spawning. It feels like everything is made like a nuke town or shipment. There's no identity to these maps besides of some weird hyper focus on ADHD. It's annoying to gain kill streaks too because there's a person or two running at you within 5 seconds. It's the enemy spawning in your own base to your side or even behind you. Also, Red Card is the worst map in the game. Moving on past the map and Omni movement issues, the variety is useless. It's either an SMG or an assault rifle with the rate of fire of an SMG. If you have none of that, you're going to get destroyed. These maps cater to limited variety and choices. I also dislike the weapon leveling. Now, I don't mind progression. Progression and level ups are great, and it's always been a thing in Call of Duty, but the main problem is it takes way too long to level up a single gun. There's about up to 40 plus level ups to gain every attachment, and some of the best attachments are in the high 30s to 40s. I don't want to grind a gun for 6 hours a day to level up one gun to its limits. What am I playing? A MMORPG where I have a MMORPG job? This is just for padding hours stake to stay on your game. Imagine spending 6 hours a day playing these maps. It's waterboarding levels of torture. And do not forget the awful SBMM in this game. And let's go back in time to 2022 and refer to Mark Rubin, who was known for 2009's Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty Ghost, etc. And Mark Rubin, in summary, said about SBMM that he is not a fan of SBMM because when you play a game using strict SBMM, you are playing with and against a group of players that are, for the most part, just like you. They have a similar skill level and probably play in a similar way as you. And on paper, that sounds kind of fair, or fair, and you would be right if strict competition is your goal. Basically, you're going to get an experience where every match feels the same. You'll be playing against the same type of player and the same skill level of player over and over again. And if you start to improve your skills, you will probably get a few games in where you feel a bit dominant. But don't worry, the algorithm will bring you back to the same stale experience shortly after. The new version of SBMM throughout the modern day Call of Duties is awful, and with that, you have to play on these awful maps where it feels like the average stat line is like 20 to 30 kills to 20 and 30 deaths on average. Add on to that, you got some of the most garbage netcode from Demonware, which is an Activision owned company that does the netcode for Call of Duty games. Add to this plate of shit that the new rumored system that is called skill-based damage in Black Ops 6, which adjusts weapon damage values according to the player's skill level. This concept isn't brand new and has appeared in games such as Modern Warfare Remastered to Modern Warfare 2022. Do you guys believe this rumor? I do, but let me know in the comments if you think this skill-based damage is real or not. Now the next part, which is more the positive, zombies. A big positive overall in this game. Man, I mostly been playing Liberty Falls, but it's been a fun time. I do wish we had playable locked zombie characters from the start, but overall it's been pretty fun. But I do feel this is somewhat a fall from grace from older zombies. The Easter eggs are still there and still as strong as ever. They're cool, they're fun to do. The wonder weapons are awesome, but man, as a Black Ops 1 and 2 person for zombies, this feels off. To the health bars being a visible attribute, the Warzone mechanics and crafting system in zombies and in the campaign as well. It feels like the developers just said fuck it and just started meshing Warzone system and mechanics into every mode possible. I don't like the crafting system where I have to turn my weapon into multiple different rarities. I don't like having to start off with a loadout. I know you don't have to, but a human is going to find the best gain and best possible outcome. Along with picking your own loadout, you can level up your multiplayer gun through zombies. There's no reason to use the mystery box unless you want a wonder gun like the ray gun. Also, most of the best guns are on the wall. You don't need to use the mystery box. This game gives you the easiest of times to be overpowered. There's no luck involved. There's no mystery, no RNG. Add on to that, there's kill streaks in zombies. You can make it all the way to the zombie round 30 no problem and to 40 with not much problem at all. As long as you get a meta gun from a wall and a wonder weapon, which Liberty Falls gives you the overpowered Model 23. If you do a quick Easter egg, you can get it before round 6 or even 5. And don't get me started on the crafting system. Now look, you can craft kill streaks, ammo mods. You can even get the little monkey tactical grenades that distract the enemies and blow up. In the old Call of Duties, you had to get that monkey from the box. They're just giving you it for killing zombies, and it's a crafting product. Like, you get. And you also, don't forget, you also have gun rarities. Like, come on. Really. You have to craft your gun to be a higher rarity tier, and the gun gets stronger. Like, this is all just padded shit in this game. Like, it's so accessible. Zombies is fun, but it feels greatly easier and less intense due to all the accessible option it lends you. Black Ops 6 has somewhat of promise, but ends up leaving you disappointed completely. If it's not the bland campaign characters and bad mission replayability, it's the awful multiplayer that leaves you with some crumbs of fun that is zombies. Black Ops 6 is another disappointment in the Call of Duty franchise, and I don't know if it gets better from here on out.